Hello there, and welcome to this session where we're going to look at how we can set up a policy center split across several site collections, the content types we're going to need, and of course the PnP Modern Search portal to bring it all together, both for the end user and also for our editors. The end result for the end user will look like something like this. You might have seen this part up here because I've used that in another video, how to create a to Z filter. But this is what the end user will see: a number of cards, one for each item, and one item here is a page with with a content type going along with it. And as you can see here, we have a what kind of topics is discussed in each item, and also up here we have, of course, the filter for that. As you see up here, we have a sort of a visual indication when some of this content have expired, which means that it has not been reviewed yet, and it has passed the date of last review, which you can see down here, by the way. We will have this card up here saying not valid. That's one of the options. Another option is that we don't do anything when things expire. That's entirely up to you. And the last one is that we actually remove that item from this listing here. So if the content has expired, it will just not show up. Depending on that expiration date. And that's all controlled using our content types. So that will be the next thing we'll have a look at. The content type we're using in this case is, of course, up here in the content type gallery, because I want to use this across site collections. So therefore, it must be available on the tenant level. You can see I've got my content type up here. It's based on the site page as a parent, and I have additional properties selected added for this one, like if it's valid, the first letter from the title. That's what I use for that A to C filter. The topic, valid on to date, content responsible, and also the content expiration choice. That's where we decide what we'll do once we have reached the expiration date. So that's what we are going to use. So let's have a look at what it looks like on in the site pages library in one of these sites where we have implemented this content type. We have like PTO, of course, it's first loaded as a P. The topic was a managed metadata field, is the benefits. We've set a date, content responsible, whether it's valid or not. The content expiration choice, which in this case we've decided, which is also, by the way, a managed metadata field, we've decided to do nothing. So as you can see, we have the options to do nothing. We can put on a warning label, or we can hide that item in the search result web part. So this is the way we are going to use these properties. And of course, these will have to be mapped to refinable strings and dates in order for this to work. So let's head over to the schema and have a look at that. So when we look at the refinable strings, we can see that the content responsible is down here, and we also have the expiration choice that is right here, and we have the employee handbook topic is up there. So these are just ordinary mappings. If we have a look at refinable dates, that would be refinable date 60 down here. It has been mapped to the valid on to date, which is the date of review. So that is the one we are going to use here. So now we have our mapping in place, we can go back and have a look at what we have set up here in our search. So let's have a look at what we got here. This one, let's start with a search template here. If we have a look at this one, you can see that we are looking for a content type ID just as usual. Then we have a clause here saying that we want to exclude those where the refinable string 128, which is the choice, the expiration choice, if that contains this GUID, which is the GUID that represent that we should hide that item. Um, if that is the case, and the refinable date, which is the expiration date, if that is less than today, which means that it should be hidden, and we have expired our content, then we will not show it in this overview. So that part is where we actually hide that content. The last part here is from the previous video where we just use these A to C filter to figure out which item we want to show. The next part we can have a look at is the layout slots. These belong to the card, and of course we can modify these to show our content rather than the default content. For instance, the author slot has we have replaced the existing value with the refinable string 127, which is the content owner. The tags, we have replaced that value with the auto refinable string 124. That is the topic. That is the refinable string part. I use the auto version because I want to make sure that this is already set up for multi-language scenarios, where if we use the auto one here and we set the property called user localization, then it will automatically be translated into the language of the user's choice. The date field, of course, has been replaced with the refinable date 16, which is the expiration date. And I think that is about it. We have a single one here, content expiry choice. That is the same as up above, where we have a refinable string 128, where we choose which of the actions we want to take when content expires. And valid onto date is just the refinable date 16. I could have skipped that one. I don't even think I use it, but it won't hurt anything. So let's see what else we got. I think I set a sort setting. Yes, I did. We are sorting our content on a refinable string 09. This is a custom one that I've set up where I define the right mapping for how to sort on the title field. This is not out of the box. For some reason, from Microsoft haven't decided to make a title sortable. In some cases, it makes a lot of sense to be able to sort by title. In other cases where you get like 50,000 items back from the backend, sorting makes no sense at all. So that will just slow down your processes. In this case, I've set up a refinable string 09 to map for title. And in this case, you can find the video on how to do that. That's on the channel. So that's one. And then, of course, we had enabled our localization in order to make sure that we get our values right. If I remove that, then it doesn't exactly look the way we expect. So let's just make sure that localization is turned on, also in order to provide for multi-language scenarios. That's about it on page 1. Page 2, we got the card set up, and of course we have had a lot of fun with the managed card here. Title is unchanged, localization unchanged. Tags, as far as I recall, are also kind of similar. This is out of the box today, as far as I recall. The preview image, however, is special. What we're doing here is that we use refinable date 16. That was the expiration date. We use a moment.js function on this one, converts it into ticks. That's what this refinable date 16, and then convert it into x. X converts it into ticks. So we compare that value with the value over here, which is sort of like today measured in ticks. So if Today is greater than the refinable date versus the expiry date, so the content have actually expired. Then we just show this. It's just just an URL to a image showing no valid. That of course you can pick your own or choose it from wherever you want. Otherwise, we'll show the preview image URL. So that's the way we do that. Otherwise, it is pretty much plain sailing and nothing's changed in here. On the similar last page, of course, we set up to use a search box. We use to use a filter as well. And this part down here is where we connect it to the A to C filter, where we use that first letter value as a choice. So that is the way this one has been defined. And as you can see, it works quite all right. And of course, those values that we have in our documents, which is not there, this is somewhere over here. We're in the policy center. In the pages, some of these values, they are not available on our front page over there, and that is intentional because they have been set to be hidden when they expire. So that's the way it works. Of course, this one works just as it did before, where we can just select any value up here and just browse through the content to make sure that it's an easy way for our end users to figure this one out. So that kind of concludes this session. So how to set up your own policy center when you're using pages in this case, but nothing prevents you from using documents or whatever. The approach is basically the same. As long as you base your design on a content type, it can't be that far off of what you intend to do. If you don't use content types, I'm afraid we can't be friends. Well, I hope to see you on the next one. Have a nice one.